What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Poll Rundown. My name, of course, is Barrows Boy. If you don't know what Poll Rundown is, this is where we go through the latest poll on Old School RuneScape, talk about the votes, give you guys my opinion, as well as talk about the in-depth, kind of behind-the-scenes look at what these votes will mean in the long run. So, let's get started real quick. This poll is chocked full of a lot of stuff, so I'm going to try to move relatively quickly. Should we alter the bank to give you bank tabs? Very simple, very useful thing. I personally probably won't be using them, but very simple, doesn't affect gameplay, all about it. When you manually drop a stack of Chinchampas in the wilderness, should they fall to the ground like they do if you die with them? This will prevent people who are hunting Chinchampas from dropping their Chinchampas. Basically drives more PKers to be hunting black Chinchampa hunters. That's all good. That's the way it should be. So definitely yes for me on that one. Banners and flags, such as the Castle Wars team flags, have controlled and defensive combat stances. Should we change them to have accurate, aggressive, controlled, and defensive combat stances? I see no reason not to say yes to this. This is just to prevent pures and people who want to wield the banners from leveling skills they don't want to. So that is absolutely just fine with me. Should you be able to imbue the Salve Amulet and its E version at the Nightmare Zone for 800,000 points to have their effect in ranged and magic behave the same way as they do for melee, and it will obviously only apply to the primary target in a multi-target attack. So, the only place this would have been useful is if they put the Salve, and again, the Salve Ami, just so you guys know, is the amulet that lets you do increased damage. It's basically a Slayer helmet for undead creatures. It'll only work on undead creatures. It works on aberrant specters, ghosts, zombies, skeletons, ghouls, you name it. If it's undead, probably works. There isn't really a situation in which the Salve Ami is ever needed for range and mage, except if you were if you were using Chinchampas or using Burst and Blitz. So, and again, monkey skeletons are undead, so that would be the only place this would really have a solid effect. But because will only apply to the primary target in a multi-target attack, it's not going to really do much. So again, this is just kind of giving mage and range kind of a token little thing. I don't expect this to be very useful. I honestly expect a lot of people to vote no just because this really isn't going to have effect on much of anything at all. But I'm going to vote yes because, again, it doesn't really, doesn't affect gameplay in a bad way. When a monster dies and drops a clue, should the clue appear in addition to the other drops rather than instead of them? Absolutely. Clues take up a drop in the drop table occasionally, and this just kind of fixes that, so that's great. Should the Fight Caves display a notification chat? Yes, please. I can never keep track of my Fight Caves waves. This is awesome. Will help when I go for Fire Cape on my stream later in the month. Should the entire Castle Wars lobby area be safe in PvP worlds to avoid luring? I have no problem with that. When you tally to Castle Wars, you should be safe. A lot of people lure there. It's kind of scummy. I'm totally okay with that change. Here's a big one, and one that a lot of people have been talking about. Should we add 20 range bonus, 20 defense bonus, ranged variety to Bandos boots? This is a very big change. Plus 20 on boots is huge. Bandos boots effectively useless right now. They really don't have much of a use other than people who need a Bandos item. And at the same time, there's a lot of other alternatives to, a Bandos item. You don't really need a Bandos item for Bandos God Wars. Honestly, you can get away with not using one very easily. In fact, I usually, when I don't have Tacits or BCP or a BGS, I won't be using Bandos boots just so I can idle in the Bandos area. So this is a great change to Bandos boots. Will add some value to them, makes them a semi-useful item. I am totally on board for this change. Should we change the Crystal Shield's negative range bonus from -10 to -5? Now this is one of those poll questions that when I was reading over it in the development blog, didn't really think so much about it. It's definitely an interesting idea. I'm not sure, again, if it really affects a lot of gameplay, so I'm going to vote yes. I'm not, again, this is one of those votes that definitely I wish I had looked more into. I'm not really sure what this will affect in the long run. Crystal Shield, with the addition of the new shields, the Odium Ward and the Malediction Ward, doesn't really have as much usefulness as it used to. So giving this, taking away its negative range bonus should help a little bit. It's one of the only situations in which it's actually good is when you're ranging. So this is an interesting little thing. Definitely like that update. Should the Bracelet of Regeneration have stats similar to what it had in the 2008 update? This you will have to read the dev blog. Basically, it's giving Pures a better alternative than I think Pures can get up to Mithril Gloves right now. Basically, this is a stat-free, no requirement, no skills necessary Pretty decent wristband. Bracelet of Regeneration actually was great after 2008. So again, this adds kind of a value to an Onyx bracelet, which really right now has no usefulness. So I am totally okay with this. It also gives Pures a good alternative when they're training, that kind of thing. So I like this. I think again it kind of is taking some dead content out of being dead, and that's much better than introducing new content 9 times out of 10. I'm a fan of, revamping old content so that it's much better. When a player is hit with Ice Barrage, should the spell animation be different based on whether that player is already frozen? This is very interesting. This is what they're talking about, getting rid of my ice cubes. This was an update that they made in, I think, 2008. So many people were upset, including myself. I missed my ice cubes. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm voting no on this, not only for nostalgia's sake, but it's kind of a skill. It requires skill to know when your Ice Barrage is going to be freezing and when it's not. So I'm totally okay with this. I don't really see... I think this is a quality of life change that's just not necessary. I'm sure I'll be a little split on this vote. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be voting yes, but I'm going to stick with no, mainly because I don't think it's necessary. Should the Rock Cake be changed to damage you for 10% of your health to help Dark users? Yes. Quality of life change. Item already functions in a certain way. Might as well just make it quicker. Makes a whole lot of sense. Should the doors or gates near Falador forming... Okay, this is basically... I'm not even going to read this thing. This is basically saying all these doors that are closing on you in-game that are frustrating you, like the Duel Arena gate, the Castle Wars gate, all these other gates that they're mentioning, should they permanently stay open? Yes. Quality of life change. Excellent quality of life change. Should we restructure the options interface and add a button to remove roofs? We would still keep the toggle roof command. Yes, absolutely. Why not? Gives it, more availability. It's a good quality of life change. I like it. Should we add the ability for you to see your face close up when you can take a screenshot of your character to share your best old school moments with your friends? If you didn't see the Reddit post by Mod Reach showcasing this update, he'd already worked on it. Rather amusing. I think it's kind of cool, so I'm all aboard for that one. Should we reduce the cost of medium clue scrolls from Trouble Brewing to 300 pieces of 8? Absolutely. Trouble Brewing needs something, and I don't think this is going to get people playing Trouble Brewing, but an hour to get a level 2 clue, still not as good as you could get one from, say, killing guards over and over. So this doesn't take over the best option, but it also drives a little bit more traffic to Trouble Brewing, so I am voting yes. Should we add a right-click option for skipping dialogue when repairing pouches at Dart Mage? All this stuff, quality of life, speeds things up. Yes, yes, yes. More, yes. Should you be able to see the remaining charges on binding necklaces? This is for runecrafters who are going hard making lava runes, the best XP in the game. If you don't know what they are, just trust me. Yes is a good vote on this. No, it makes no sense. You should be able to see how many more combination runes. Good lord, English is hard. You should be able to see how many more combination runes you can make. That's a definitely very useful thing. I like it. Put it in the game. Should we change the name of unfinished potions to include which herb is in the vial? Absolutely. Again, great quality of life change. It's kind of impossible to figure out if you kind of just put a potion in your bank. Kind of impossible to know what it is. And there's actually a big market for unfinished potions. Now, with this update, if this passes, again, I am voting yes. If this does pass, this provides an interesting market for people who have taken the extra step to putting the herbs in the vial so that people training Herblore can actually nearly double their XP rates just for paying a bit more money. Adds an interesting little bit of money-making opportunity for some people if they want to take advantage of it. We're yet to see how this will be affected in the economy, but I wouldn't be surprised if this actually ended up adding a decent money-making method for some people. So I am on board for it. Should we speed up adding items into a compost bin? Yes, it takes forever. Please, God. Last two. If you hover over your stats, would you like to see the remaining XP until level? Yes, yes, please. And, of course, if you don't like it, this is the most important. You can toggle this feature on and off. Thank you, Jagex. You now understand how I like my features. Be able to toggle it on and off, but also provide a way that you can have it. Fantastic. All the dyslexic and people who just can't read, like myself, who's trying to figure out how much XP they have left. Yeah, let's get my calculator out here real quick. It's 560. No, just skip the math. Do it for me. Fantastic. And finally, should you be able to right-click Spirit Trees and choose the destination Spirit Tree you want to teleport directly to? Right now, when you teleport with Spirit Trees, you have to take the Spirit Tree that you're at and go to the Tree Gnome Village to basically what is the hub Spirit Tree, and then from there you can choose what Spirit Tree you go to. This cuts down on the time it takes traveling to Spirit Trees. It also, you know, again, it's really just a quality of life change. It just kind of lets you do things faster. So, obviously, I am voting yes. Very quick, very easy, actually quite a lot, though, of questions you guys need to answer if you feel like taking the poll. As always, in the description is a link to the poll. I'm going to submit my vote. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Poll Rundown. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about this poll. And hopefully you guys will catch another episode of Poll Rundown live on my Twitch channel. Next time a poll comes out, join me on my Twitch channel. I always film these episodes live. So, once again, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.